pandemic, this virus that has claimed over 200,000 lives, has now left him and the First Lady with a positive test result. This news first came
I cannot
outside
believe this.
when we heard
This
the
is a
news
shocking
that close
news
White
right
House
now.
aide Hope Hicks had tested
This
positive
is breaking
and
news.
was
Hope Hicks
indeed feeling symptomatic with
tested positive for the
COVID-19.
coronavirus.
A number of
Trump tested positive for the coronavirus. First Lady tested positive for the coronavirus. This is crazy.
If you were aware and watching the coverage tonight, you noticed we entered a black hole of a couple of hours.
This is unbelievable right now. This is breaking news at the very moment. The President Trump is 74 years old and he has tested positive for COVID-19.
On the road and how they cannot all be policed. He then mentioned on Twitter that he was going into a quarantine process, as he called it. We surmised, he had told us he was getting tested. We surmised further that the tests were being done and done again and done again as a positive or negative result.
He took 3 tests and he tested positive all 3 times for coronavirus.
From the Pacific Northwest, who we have relied on for our coverage for these many months.
Unbelievable right now. Unbelievable.
We just learned this news, and in the last couple of minutes, we're trying to run through everything as it occurs to us. What does this mean to the presidential election? We can likely now be canceled. We're 30 days out. What's running through your mind as a medical professional?
Brian, good to see you again. So many things. First of all, I want to make sure that the most important thing here is that the president and the first lady and everybody that might have been exposed, Hope Hicks, that they're doing okay. And so I'm glad to hear that it sounds like they're doing okay. Hope Hicks, I'd like to better understand what her symptom profile is. Having said all that, this raises the specter of when did Hope Hicks actually come down with COVID-19? When was she displaying symptoms? And let's retrace the steps then of her actions. Where was she? Because this is bigger than just the president, the first lady, their inner circle.
This is unbelievable. Breaking news. Unbelievable. Right now, I'm bringing it to YouTube Nation. This is major breaking news. President Trump, Melania Trump, and staff members of the president have tested positive for COVID-19. Unreal.
Did the vice president's team and everybody in Case Western, were they exposed? Because it's not hard to turn back the tape and say, my goodness, if Hope Hicks was symptomatic on Wednesday, say morning or afternoon, people, especially young people, go through a phase where they're what we call pre-symptomatic. And that can be for a period of time.
What is President Trump going to do now? What about the two debates? And this is less than 34, 35 days before election day. He can't really campaign. Wow, this is unreal.
If she was close to the president on the day of the debate, this changes the ballgame.
This changes the ballgame tremendously.
And then finally, I'll say, Brian, if the president's team knew that Hope Hicks was positive and that they were all in close contact with her, why did he go to an event today and willingly, volitionally, frankly, expose other individuals at a fundraiser? To me, I don't understand that. What's the medical advice that he's getting from Dr. Connolly and others? Who is encouraging him to do that? Because at that moment, when Hope Hicks turns up positive and symptomatic, that should have raised alarm bells and a 5-alarm fire that everybody should shelter in place until we get testing, and then even then, we should repeat testing over a period of time. So this is a big deal.
This is a huge deal. It's a major deal right now. Major deal right now. Unbelievable right now. Cannot believe this is happening. Wow.
What's our assurance? Are we just assuming that Hope Hicks was the person, the means of transmission to the president, given the ground he has covered, all those he has come in contact with?
Wow.
It's a great point. We're flying blind here, Brian. Who knows? That's the simple question. Maybe Hope Hicks was exposed to something
Everybody,
from
please tune
Sunny
in
Valley or from
to
another sector,
Yahoo
and then
News,
just because of her high
ABC
profile, it's
News,
been identified that
NBC
she's now
News, ABC
fairly
News,
positive with symptoms.
and
It's
CNN
unclear. We have
News,
no
Fox
idea, which is
News,
why
all
everybody in her inner
other
circle
media
must
news
be quarantined and
outlets
tested. I'm
across the
not saying it for
country
any
for
other
this special
benefit than their own
bulletin.
health and the health of their
Right
fellow
now,
Trumpies. Number
I'm on
one,
the
we're going to make you
NBC special
identify
news
into a
bulletin
massive contact
on this.
tracing
This
effort to
happened.
see who they may have
This
exposed, in
news
addition to the
came
Vice
right
President's
away,
team.
right
And
through
we
the
want to make sure
wire,
their families
and
and their families were in
it
that
was
close
announced
space.
that
This
President Trump
changes
has
everything. But yes,
contracted the
that presidential
coronavirus,
race has
and
moved
he might have
fundamentally off its
contracted it from
site.
Hope
There should be
Hicks,
no more
who
in-person gatherings for
traveled
the
with him
remainder
to
of
the
the
debate
season. And
this
my
past
biggest concern
Tuesday
here is the
and
president
around the
remains
country
asymptomatic,
as it did
but can he use
fundraisers
it
and speaking tours and
to tamp
engagements
down the
to
seriousness of
ramp
the
up the
infection?
campaign
Because let's
for
be clear
re-election
here. Let's hope
on
everybody stays
November
well and
3rd,
healthy. But this was
2020.
preventable. They were
Right now,
already
he's
at it.
74 years
Sterling
old,
Harper on
and
that flight. They've been saying knocking
he's at
masks
a
in
high
some
risk
cases.
right now.
The fact that this
So,
even got heard is a
you never
damning
hope this
indictment
happens to anybody.
and
Hopefully, he's able to
unfortunately
recover.
kind of a
Everybody
torch.
remembers that the
So
Prime Minister
reality,
of Great
based on
Britain,
their months and
he
months of
contracted the coronavirus and
misrepresenting
he was
the
sent to
public health
hospital
practice
for
of the
many
exercise
weeks.
protocol. This did not have to
He almost
happen if they
passed
were
away from it, but
practicing
he
the
was
proper
able to
procedures.
fight,
I'm not
and
going to
he
these
was able
rallies
to
and have
recover from
these chaotic
COVID-19.
events where, of
So let's
course,
hope
airborne
that they're
exposures are
able
going to
to
happen,
catch
even
it
if
and
it's in an
stop the
outdoor
spread
setting.
really
No
quickly for
masking, no
President Trump,
distancing. What do they
and that he
expect is
makes a
going to
full
happen?
recovery.
Doctor,
Let's
to your
hope,
point that this hour calls
that
for
they're able to nip
plain
this in the
language
bud
and clear
as
thinking,
much as
the
possible.
president has been fond of saying that this is mostly concentrated on the risk group of senior citizens. In fact, tomorrow, back when life was normal, he had a White House event, a kind of conference call on the topic of impact in the senior citizen community. Well, guess what? He's a senior citizen. He's a senior citizen. He happens to be the oldest president to hold the office in our history thus far. Talk about that. Talk about things like comorbidities, a term of art from your business.
Wow.
You bet. You bet.